This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 18th day of March in the year 2019. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Ethnic Relations Commission has completed its report into the complaint by the 3 opposition-nominated members of the Guyana Elections Commission about the hiring practices of the Guyana Elections Commission and the hiring of the Deputy Chief Elections Officer. The Commission found no evidence that supported the opposition-nominated commissioner's contention that GCOM was in the practice of hiring one particular ethnic group over the other.
But it must be noted that no evidence, despite the fact that, as you said, there was a report in the media of 90% of the employees belonging to a particular ethnic group. There was no evidence presented by anyone to suggest that that allegation is true. He who complains is expected to provide, the onus is on those who complain to provide the evidence. And no such evidence was presented.
It was asked for.
Pardon?
Was it asked for?
Yes, it was.
From the complainant?
Yes, it was.
The ERC commissioners also said no evidence was provided by the opposition-nominated commissioners to back up their contentions in the complaints. The probe into the complaints was conducted by a subcommittee that was made up of a retired Justice of Appeal, a retired Deputy Police Commissioner, and a Human Resources Consultant, along with 2 commissioners of the Ethnic Relations Commission. While the Commission did not receive any evidence that pointed to hiring based on ethnicity, it was not provided with all of the hiring information from the Human Resources Manager of the Elections Commission. It was only able to go through information about the management positions and not those non-management positions.
We were unable to peruse the records as it relates to the appointment of the non-managerial employees because of the absence of the human resource manager.
However, on the issue of the hiring of the Deputy Chief Elections Officer, the ERC reports that the Elections Commission moved away from normal practice to hire the person who scored the highest number during the interviewing session. By a majority vote of the full commission, GCOM hired Roxanne Myers for the job over Vishnu Prasad, who was in the employ of the commission for several years. Prasad scored higher than Myers during the interviewing sessions, but all of his high marks came from the opposition-nominated commissioners.
And it was established that, inconsistent with past practice, the practice has been that the applicant with the highest score would be appointed to that position. In this instance, the applicant with the lowest score was preferred against the applicant with the highest score. I'm speaking here in respect to Vishnu Prasad and Roxanne Myers. Right? Myers.
Were you provided with evidence that showed a particular trend in the scoring, where the highest scores came from, which 2 commissioners, where the lowest scores might have come from for these candidates?
The highest scores for Vishnu Prasad came from the opposition-nominated commissioners.
The Commission in its report said that Mr. Prasad was the first candidate in the history of the Elections Commission who had obtained the highest score and had not been appointed. But the Commission also found that there are no institutional rules or practices in GCOM which allows for ethnic discrimination in hiring. More news in a moment.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, We are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
It's knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from the credit, buddy? I recommend that you for job. Let me watch the game, but it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back because she from 5. Fab 5?
Activate the GTT Fab 5 plan today. For only 5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GTT Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
Welcome back. The Minister of Finance and the Minister of Public Infrastructure met with residents in the South Ruimveldt area last evening and warned them against believing the promises of politicians as the election cycle approaches. Finance Minister Winston Jordan said he has already seen some in the opposition putting forward unrealistic promises, and voters need to be mindful of falling for such promises.
I'll tell you outrageous comment I've ordered already. 50,000 jobs will be created in the 5 years. That approximates 10,000 jobs per year, right? In an economy that is starting from such a low base and with a small population and a working population, you already know that there's an outrage. And unless somebody showed you how these 10,000 plus jobs are going to be created per year, you must not be persuaded that such a statement holds true.
Minister Jordan said the coalition government has several initiatives and programs that it continues to work on, adding that it has accomplished a lot over the past 4 years and will be pushing to do a whole lot more. Similar views were shared by the Public Infrastructure Minister, David Patterson.
Lots of people buy into things, roads, water, lights, all these different things in communities that never had before. I know about South Ruimveldt. I've been living in South Ruimveldt since January 1981. So I know about South Ruimveldt. I could tell you things about South Ruimveldt. Only few people in here can tell you about South Ruimveldt. And when I tell you South Ruimveldt today is a masterpiece compared to what we had in January 1981, you had to see it to believe it. You go back and you read the newspapers about little soap and all these people when you couldn't get water.
Let us look incrementally. We're moving. There's some opportunities. They may not be. Things may not even be as bright as you thought, but you recognize it out. The runaway corruption in there. The runaway corruption isn't there. Guyana this year was one of the top, was the most improved in the corruption index, but not the soul. We don't get no credit for things like that. So so it is still disheartening, and then persons will get up and say, I ain't voting.
With the likelihood of elections this year, government ministers and activists have been moving into several communities in their efforts to convince voters to re-elect the coalition. On the police blotter, police investigators were called to Castello Housing Scheme this morning to probe the death of a caretaker of a home in the area. He has been identified as 50-year-old Lancelot Gransalt. Investigators spent more than 1 hour at the scene. The man's body with blood oozing from the nose was found in the yard of the house where he's a caretaker. He reportedly had no marks of violence about the body, and there appeared to have been no forced entry into the house. Still, investigators said they prefer to wait on a post-mortem examination before arriving at a conclusion for the probe. Let's tell you now that well-known bread vendor and businessman Claire Montellisford of Betterville Acting on the east coast of the Demerara was attacked and murdered early yesterday morning just after he closed his business place. A police report has revealed that 3 masked men, including one who was armed, stormed the man's premises around 1:30 yesterday morning and held a businessman and his wife at gunpoint. The two were relieved of their valuables and money during the robbery and were later tied up. As the men were leaving, they reportedly took the businessman into the yard and pounced on him repeatedly. His body was discovered motionless in the yard after the bandits escaped. He was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital where doctors pronounced him dead. A post-mortem examination has since revealed that he died from strangulation. No one has been arrested for the murder and robbery, but investigators have reportedly received several leads. Across the region is coming up next.
Motor gasoline grades are determined by the octane rating of the fuel. The octane rating of a fuel is the standard measure of the performance of a motor gasoline. Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline is a high-octane premium gasoline. Fuel up and drive with Super 95 from Guy Oil.
Guyana! Extra Beer presents the youngest and the hottest dancehall artist, Alkaline.
We make it pass a little drama. When them all club themselves, we keep it calm. I feel like my can conquer the world now.
The Conqueror.
Can't stand with Vendetta.
Live on Easter Saturday, April 20th, 2019 at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. Music by DJ Magnum, Gully Russ, and Diamond. David Hyde, DJ Fresh, DJ Damien, and Andre. Bobby Kush from Jamaica. Super 8 one-man band. Alkaline Live. Alkaline Live. Easter Saturday, 20th of April, 2019. Early bird tickets $2,500. After $3,000. Stage front $15,000. Stay tuned. Tickets out soon. Guyana National Stadium, Providence.
Guyana! It's that time of year again to taste and savor the country's best agro-processed foods. It's all happening at the GMSA's Uncapped Marketplace to be held at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence on March 31 from 10 hours. Come and enjoy delicious foods and healthy local products that blend into an exotic mix to create a true Guyanese flavor. Bring out the entire family for a day of food, games, giveaways, and lots of fun. Admission is free. Don't you miss it.
Across the region right now, the St. Lucian government today reiterated its position that unless there's a fundamental change to the operating structure of the cash-strapped regional airline LIAT, the St. Lucian government would not be investing financially in the airline. The country's Prime Minister said if St. Lucia is going to buy shares, it's going to be buying shares into an entity that the government is free to make whatever commercial decisions must be made. The Prime Minister said he does not mind being a shareholder and going to an annual shareholders meeting, where if the management is not doing a good job, then they should fire the management. Antigua and Barbuda, Trinidad and Tobago, and Paraguay have joined the UN Environment's Clean Seas campaign, bringing the number of countries now involved in the world's largest alliance for combating marine plastic pollution to 60. The 3 nations signed up during the 4th UN Environment Assembly in Nairobi, where more than 4,700 delegates from 170 countries have been meeting to hammer out new guidelines to enable humanity to prosper without degrading the planet's already depleted resources. Launched in 2017, the Clean Seas campaign works with governments, businesses, and citizens to eliminate the needless use of disposable plastics and protect the ocean and rivers from a toxic tide of pollution. And finally tonight, international news. The death toll in Mozambique from a cyclone could reach 1,000 persons. The cyclone made landfall close to the port city on Thursday with winds of up to 177 kilometers per hour. But 8 teams only reached the city yesterday. The official death toll stands at 84 following flooding and high winds, which have destroyed homes and ripped roofs from concrete buildings. The cyclone has killed at least 180 people across Southern Africa. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.